Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit, where engines meet headlines and politics collides with the pitch. In June 2025, President Trump signed Proclamation 10949, a sweeping travel ban that could derail the 2026 FIFA World Cup before kickoff. Fans are blocked, cities are blindsided, and sponsors are sweating. What began as a global celebration is shifting into a geopolitical standoff. Stadiums may be ready, but the world isn't exactly invited. From strained visas to fractured venues, this isn't just a football story. It's a fuel-injected controversy. Buckle up. Here are the turning points reshaping this historic tournament. Policy versus passion. When national security benches the fans. When President Trump signed Proclamation 10949 in June 2025, the ripple effects hit global football like a cleat to the shin. The executive order blocks entry from 12 countries, including Iran, Somalia, and Syria, and restricts 7 more, just as the U.S. gears up to co-host the most international World Cup in history. While elite players and FIFA officials are exempt, fans, journalists, and vendors are not. They must navigate the overloaded B1/B2 visa system, where wait times in many affected countries stretch beyond 300 days, far past kickoff. This isn't a bureaucratic hiccup, it's policy, and it's already grounding thousands. Iranian fans, despite valid tickets, are barred. No waivers, no temporary carve-outs, just a hard border for the people who give the game its soul. Supporter groups from Africa and the Middle East are canceling plans, with one message echoing through the silence. If you're not from the right country, you're not welcome, even in the stands. The players may take the field, but the global heart of football is being left at the gate. But this isn't just a matter of empty seats. It's a full-blown municipal crisis in the making. Local fallout. Host cities caught in the political crossfire. With Washington hitting the brakes on entry, cities like Atlanta, Houston, Louisiana, and New York are stalling hard. These aren't just dots on a map. They're host cities that invested millions in infrastructure, marketing, and tourism campaigns. Now, hotel bookings are flatlining, event staff are scaling down, and local organizers are publicly panicking. A Houston official nailed it when they said, "We're hosting the world, but not letting the world in." Hotels are pulling back on room blocks. Airlines are trimming routes. Restaurants and rideshare companies are already bracing for a summer that's more fizzle than firework. And it's not just economics, it's branding. These cities were promised a global spotlight, a tourism turbo boost, and a chance to show off. But with international visitors sidelined, that spotlight's looking dim. Some are even pulling funding from fan festivals, fearing empty plazas and lost revenue. Security's also growing tense. Some cities report National Guard deployments tied to deportation actions, not exactly the welcome banner FIFA had in mind. The whole affair is starting to resemble a PR fumble, with local leaders stuck between federal policies and international expectations. Before we delve deeper, if you're finding this coverage valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to Piston Pundit, your front row seat to where torque meets geopolitics. Now let's shift gears and head toward one country's very personal football standoff. The Iran paradox, playing without the people. Iran's situation says it all. The squad, cleared to compete. The fans, shut out. Even those with family ties to players or legitimate match tickets have hit a bureaucratic wall. The optics, abysmal. Iranian sports journalists have been blunt, calling it discriminatory and insulting. Tehran may not host matches, but Canada and Mexico will, and their open-door approach only deepens the divide. Some fans are trying to reroute through Toronto, hoping to catch games there. But let's face it, detours don't erase discrimination. It's not just Iran. Nations like Sudan and Yemen don't even have viable application paths. For partially restricted countries, visa timelines are so long, the 2026 tournament might be over before they clear customs. Even cities with strong diaspora communities like Toronto can't replace the power of a unified international presence. And FIFA? So far, crickets. Behind closed doors, whispers hint at venue reshuffling and legal fire drills. Because at this rate, The 2026 World Cup won't be remembered for goals. It'll be remembered for who never got to see them. And that silence isn't going unnoticed, especially by corporate sponsors. Corporate freeze, FIFA silent, sponsors nervous. FIFA's silence is deafening. As entire regions find themselves locked out of attending the 2026 World Cup, internal reports warn of reputational damage across Africa and the Middle East. Regional federations are demanding answers, but FIFA remains officially mute. Sponsors, however, are sounding alarms behind closed doors. Global brands like Adidas, Coca-Cola, Visa, and Qatar Airways depend on emerging markets now excluded from the US tournament. Leaked memos from Europe reveal active discussions about scaling back US ad campaigns and redirecting resources to Canada and Mexico. One beverage exec summed it up: "We don't want to be the face of a divided World Cup." That line has been circulating through global PR circles like wildfire. Meanwhile, advocacy groups like Human Rights Watch and the ACLU have labeled the policy discriminatory. Some fan organizations are now lawyering up, preparing to challenge the restrictions in international courts. FIFA isn't just facing a moral dilemma, it's staring down a potential commercial crisis. If action isn't taken soon, the real story of 2026 may not be who scores, but who refuses to play along. Which brings us to the quiet rebellion from two co-hosts rewriting the playbook altogether. North American divide, when Canada and Mexico defy the playbook. While the US tightens its borders, Mexico and Canada are doing the opposite, rolling out the welcome mat. In mid-June, Mexico publicly declared that all fans, regardless of nationality, are invited to attend. Canada echoed that sentiment days later, promising unrestricted access for international visitors. Neither nation called out Trump by name, but their stance is clear. They're positioning themselves as the inclusive co-hosts. The response was swift. Federations from Iran, Algeria, and Venezuela are now requesting to play their matches outside the US, citing concerns over politics and fan access. This subtle rebellion is reshaping the tournament. What was once a unified North American World Cup is splitting into zones, one welcoming, one restrictive. Canada and Mexico are gaining praise and profit. Flights to Toronto, Vancouver, and Mexico City are spiking, hotels are filling up, and fan collectives are planning entire trips around avoiding US matches. The optics are undeniable. The US may have built stadiums, but Canada and Mexico are winning hearts, headlines, and hospitality points just by keeping their doors open. So as we roll into the final stretch, let's ask the question on every fan's mind. Closing. Whose World Cup is it anyway? So here we are, fellow gearheads and global thinkers, at the crossroads where sport meets state. The 2026 World Cup was meant to be a turbocharged celebration of unity. Instead, it's grinding through controversy. Trump's proclamation 10949 may have spared the athletes, but it sidelined the heart of the game, the fans, the families, the global football faithful. Canada and Mexico have seized the opportunity, not just with open arms, but open wallets, raking in tourism, goodwill, and influence. And as FIFA fumbles with silence, the question isn't just about goals, it's about principles. Let's open the hood on this issue together. Can a country truly host the world if it shuts out millions of its people? Will global brands stick around if their markets are blocked from the stands? Should FIFA protect access or protect its contracts? Drop your take in the comments. We want to hear from fans, thinkers, and every Piston pundit in between. And don't forget, subscribe to Piston Pundit for more vehicle updates, auto industry drama, and the geopolitical torque behind the headlines. Thanks for riding with us. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road and your mind on the mechanics. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's plenty more to explore.